stars are not what we think they are, and apparently NASA lied about that too. If you didn't know that space was fake, welcome to the room. Sorry to break it to you, but we got to talk about some stuff. The main reason why I think space is fake and Earth is not a ball flying through space is because there's no hard container to keep air pressure on Earth to keep us alive and breathing in a temperature-controlled environment. That's how I know that space is fake. We're next to a vacuum in endless space and we're all alive. Come on, now let's go to the stars. So the Matrix said that shooting stars are streaks of light caused by tiny space debris burning up as they enter Earth's atmosphere at high speeds. Okay, but NASA lied about space. When you zoom into the stars, which I've made a video about that, and I'm going to come out with another video because I bought the camera and I did it for myself. When you zoom in, the stars are not what NASA shows. They lied about space. They lied about all that stuff. The moon landing, they lied about all that. And so shooting stars still happen, right? We still see them in the sky. Let me show you. So something is definitely flying in the sky. It happens. But what is that? We know that there's no meteors, there's no comets, there's no planets, there's no galaxies. All that is fake space propaganda. It's not real because there's a firmament above and there's waters above that, and the Earth is stationary, immovable, fixed in place. But stuff still happens in the sky, shooting stars. So what is that? Let me show you what it is. So these people, star-al.com, apparently make human-made shooting star satellites. Okay, so it's essentially just for entertainment, but also for atmospheric monitoring and for environmental studying. Okay, so they're trying to tell us that this is a new thing, but I don't think it's new tech. I think that this has been around for years, decades, and now they're saying it's new. Oh, new company. But it's, it's like any technology, like the iPhones, like whatever. iPhone's been around for 1,000 years, but they're trying to say it's new within the last, 20 years. No there's no new technology. And this is the CEO talking about all the great things they're going to do, the entertainment, the atmospheric data, and making the world a better place type stuff. Okay. So shooting stars. With that being said, there are ancient accounts of people seeing shooting stars. So they didn't have satellites, allegedly, back in the day. And we know that space is fake, so there are no meteors, even for them, back in the day. So if they're seeing stuff in the sky, like a shooting star, what could it possibly be? Could it be that they had satellites back then? Satelloons? Or possibly, maybe they're seeing something supernatural, something spiritual. It's not a meteor, it's not a space rock. It could be something supernatural. Or it could be something physical on Earth that we can't explain. But all I know is not from space, from, some other distant galaxy space rock. That's fake.
TikTok. It is the day. Today is the day. I am heading to Greenville, South Carolina for the second meetup for Flat Earth, where we talk to the public about where we live. Now, some of you might laugh, some of you might comment and say I'm an idiot. Some of you might actually resonate with this. And some of you might already know the truth about where we live. But for those of you who don't, and those of you who scoff at us, all we ask is that you research it and then make up your own mind for yourself. Because once you make up your own mind, that's when you can awaken. There's not a single flat earther that will tell you or try to convince you that the earth is flat. What they will do is tell you to simply research it for yourself. Again, we don't want to convince anybody of anything. That's the whole thing we're trying to get away from. We're trying to create knowledge, not a belief. So, again, for all of you who may laugh, scoff, call us names, all you gotta do is research it. Prove it to yourself. I love every single one of you regardless. I'm coming from northern Indiana, and I will be doing flat earth meetups all over the US next year, next year. March is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. June is St. Louis, Missouri. September is Atlanta, Georgia. I love you all. Have a wonderful, grand day.
The art of rock stacking involves taking a bunch of rocks, obviously, and then stacking them on top one another in a way that almost seemingly defies gravity. But if you watch these videos, you'll notice that the slightest little movement, winds of like 3 miles per hour, or you just walking too quickly by the rocks, makes it all topple over. So you mean to tell me that the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour on its equator, but you're able to do something like this? Does that actually make any sense to you at all? And if you pay attention to the wind patterns overhead, it's all moving completely independent from the rotation of the Earth. Thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, it's all doing its own thing, but simultaneously it's all spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. All of the different oceanic currents we have, all of this stuff going on, but it's all just spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Oh, but the Coriolis effect, and guys, there's no explanation for this. Unless you sit back and you say, maybe the Earth is stationary, because there's no experiment to prove that the Earth is rotating. Not one. It's all a theory. Would you believe me if I told you that the Georgia Guidestones proved that the Earth was flat? Which is probably why they ended up being destroyed a few years back. So they were erected by no one knows. Just some weird Masonic structure that no one knows who built it. And it had these 10 commandments written on the Guidestones. And one of the laws is maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That is really, really weird, guys. So obviously that was pretty unsettling to people who knew about the Guidestones. But it also had a peephole to where you could see Polaris through it if the sky was clear at night. It also had a vertical slot aligned with the sunrise and sunset at solstices and equinoxes, and a capstone hole that let sunlight pass through at solar noon. So this thing was astrologically very, very advanced. It looks like a simple little structure, but you can see Polaris through the peephole. Now, if the Earth is spinning around at 66,000 miles around the sun, and then our solar system is moving at 500,000 miles an hour, and then our galaxy is moving at like millions of miles an hour, then how could this thing be aligned with solstices and equinoxes and Polaris? That wouldn't be possible on a globe.
What could be so large in the North Pole where they say it's all water that literally interferes with the jet stream? Let me show you something. After that, we'll talk.
North Pole update check, which happened. And they found that there was this dot here in the North Pole, which was causing this effect happening here. It was literally affecting the jet stream. This huge solid object was preventing the winds itself from traveling over thousands of miles here over, I think this is Greenland? Yeah. I mean, this dot here right in the center of the Earth, from a northern pole perspective, had changed the jet stream. So the warm air was no longer coming here to the south over America, causing an extreme dip in temperatures while this anomaly was happening. Bizarre. Something was messing with the jet stream in the North Pole.
Again, when you go on Google Earth, it literally just shows an empty ocean, but older maps don't show that. But before we get to that, why don't we ask why in the 60s there's a picture actually taken of this area and it's all blacked out? So this is a 1595 Mercator map. Obviously they knew something. They have Asia up here, they have Russia down here, United States over here, and Greenland. And look how close Greenland is. But what are these 3 or 4 bodies of land right here? And in between, there's a giant mountain that they say is magnetic. Like, you know, magnetic north. And funny enough, that seems to be where all this color always comes from, you know, the North Pole. If you want to know my opinion, I believe this is where the Garden of Eden is. The reason being is because God said it's still on this earth. He never removed Eden from the earth. He removed Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. And furthermore, he's guarding the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword and angels. But let me show you something weird. 2 nights ago, I was messing around on Google Earth. If you click the North Pole, it'll take you to a random place. Look where it took us. To a church. With Jesus. I want you to notice this place, by the way. It's not a place that would have an actual camera set up to record, so it makes no actual sense, right? But everything that is in this world, there is no coincidences. There's reasons for everything. So you click the North Pole, it'll take you to random pictures, like a different one I'm about to show you. Now watch, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna click the North Pole, and it's gonna go to a random place. This time it goes to a forest. But I think it's very odd it went to Jesus the first time, having to do with the Garden of Eden.
What's better, being a Democrat or a Republican?
Democrats went off the deep end. They all socialists now, so I would say Republican if you like freedom.
Okay, I feel that. How about you?
I have a crazy stance.
Go for it.
If I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think Democrats and Republicans all play together.
Do you think the world is flat?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how about you, bro?
Biblically, like because of the Bible, what the Bible says. I'm not like a crazy person, I swear.
Yeah, I feel that.
If you do like 5 hour, like more like 10, 15 hours of research like I have, you might change your mind.
All right.
You guys have just been like told, okay, it's round, so you believe that. But like when you do your own research, like Republicans normally do and conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that out of all the stars in the night sky, Polaris has no orbit? It's always in the same spot, which is why we can use it for guidance. Therefore, Polaris is directly above the North Pole. Get it? Polaris. It's also magnetic north. You know, compasses always point north. It's polarized. But isn't it weird how out of the dozens of easily visible stars and constellations, these 2 constellations have the same shape? Or very similar, and they're comprised of 7 stars. What are the chances that we'd be in outer space with that going on? Not very high. And how weird is this? The 2 stars at the end of the cup of the Big Dipper point directly at Polaris. Not sort of directly, like perfect straight line. Looks like a creation happened. Sorry, atheism. To take it a little further, since Polaris stays in the same spot all the time, that means that Little Dipper constellation swings like an hour hand on a clock, and it goes clockwise, because they always have to put the truth in plain sight. And yes, constellations are talked about in the Bible. You see, God made the stars to serve as signs for the seasons. And to the new folks in the room, outer space isn't a physical space. What you see up there is a firmament similar to like a dome that's rotating clockwise above us. Earth is the center of the creation, just as Genesis says. The sun is the great light, and the moon is a lesser light. Oh, I failed to mention, the Earth is flat. And to my astrology friends, guess what? Your whole belief system is based on a geocentric concept. And I'm here to tell you, you're right about that part. But I think again about, worshiping the stars and these fortune tellers and stuff like that. Don't do that. That's bad, okay? Let's just stop. Don't consult mediums. And don't worship the creation. Worship the creator. It's better this way. Trust me. And if you guys still think that stars are just balls of hydrogen and helium gas in some infinite space vacuum, the stars are living entities. Yeah, they're alive. And yes, the moon is a light. It's not a dusty rock in outer space. It's literally a light. But why are there craters on the moon? Come on, dude. There's rings around Saturn, too. We're in space. God just wants your love. That's all.
There's a verse in the very first chapter of the Bible that destroys the entire modern cosmological narrative. Genesis 1:7, and God made the firmament and separated the waters that were under the firmament from the waters that were above the firmament. Science tells you that the sky is an infinite empty vacuum called space. The Bible tells you that above the sky is water. The waters above. Why does this matter? Because you cannot have water above unless it is contained. Water needs a container. It implies a barrier, a dome, a firmament. It implies that we are not on a spinning rock flying through a vacuum. We are in a protected, enclosed, pressurized system. Why do they hide the water above? Because if you knew there was a ceiling, you would know that there was a builder. Space makes you feel insignificant and random. The firmament makes you feel protected and central. David knew it. Psalms 148:4, praise him, you highest heavens, and you waters above the heavens. Maybe it's time we stop trusting space agencies and start trusting the prophets. Look up, it's not empty. We are in the terrarium of God. Stay tuned, stay awake, keep your heart fixed on Christ. Many blessings.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.